Yes. Andy Allen?
Andy, you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. Sure.
Okay. Mark Brudd?
Present.
Jerry Hayes?
Here.
Vinnie Jones?
Here.
And Jennifer Ransom?
Here.
Reese Smith?
Here.
Keith Whittington?
Here.
And Randy Chase.
Here. And once again, welcome to Jennifer for her first meeting. We're glad to have you on board, Jennifer. And
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
let us know if you have any questions or anything. I'm sure Carolyn has filled you in on everything, but glad to have you. So we need to next, I guess, make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Yes, I probably need to go ahead and get our participants on here as well.
Okay.
So I'm Carolyn Lazenby, the Executive Director, and I'm going to just call everyone's name and you can sign on and say you're here. Elizabeth Bindle.
Good morning.
Jesse Gentry.
Here.
Kristen Walker.
Good morning.
Kathy Holloman.
I'm here.
Okay. Rhonda Mangelson
I'm here.
and Regina Odom. I think she may be on mute, but that's fine. She's a paralegal. So we can go ahead and Randy, you can go ahead and take it over.
Okay, great. So we need a motion to adopt the current agenda, please.
Randy, this is Keith Whittington. I make a motion we adopt the agenda.
Second, Jerry Hayes.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, I guess, Carolyn, do you have to do a roll call
Yeah.
for that?
Sure do. Andy Allen,
Yes.
Mark Brudd,
Yes.
Jerry Hayes,
Yes.
Vinnie Jones,
Yes.
Jennifer Ransom,
Yes.
Reese Smith,
Yes.
Keith Whittington,
Yes.
and Randy Chase.
Yes. Okay, and then we need to read in the statement of necessity. Carolyn, do you want to take care of that? Or have somebody?
Yes, I'm going to have Liz, our attorney. Go ahead.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. The Board for Licensing Contractors is meeting by electronic means to conduct essential business as authorized by Governor Lee's Executive Order 16 and extended by Executive Order 65. Meeting remotely is considered a reasonable measure to protect the safety and welfare of Tennesseans while ensuring government business may continue in a manner that is open and accessible to the public. All votes by the board will be by roll call.
Okay, thank you, Liz. We need to approve some meeting minutes. Carolyn, which of those are we able to approve today?
The May 19th minutes, please. And I am so sorry. I will try and get these others to you all in the next couple of weeks. But just for now, May 19th.
All right.
Move
So
for
we have a
approval
motion.
of May 19th.
Okay, Mark has a motion.
I second that motion.
All right, Keith. Carolyn.
Andy Allen,
Yes.
Mark Brudd,
Yes.
Jerry Hayes,
Yes.
Vinnie Jones,
Benny, you there?
Yes.
Jennifer Ransom,
Yes.
Reese Smith,
Yes.
Keith Whittington,
Yes.
and Randy Chase.
Yes. Okay. So now we'll move on to license reviews. We'll start off with the hardships that were taken care of by Carolyn and her staff. Do we have a motion to approve the hardships?
I'll move, we approve the hardship.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Carolyn, roll call, please.
Andy Allen,
Yes.
Jerry Hayes,
Yes.
Mark Brudd,
Yes.
Benny Jones,
Yes.
Jennifer Ransom,
Yes.
Reese Smith,
Yes.
Keith Whittington,
Yes.
and Randy Chase.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we had a bunch of waived interviews. There was like 15 pages of them. I'll note at this time that Carolyn and her staff have been kind of inundated with new license requests, revisions, et cetera, in the midst of a new software upgrade. So it's been a little bit of a challenge, I think, the last couple of months. So I've had a couple of calls from contractors wanting to know kind of what was going on, and I've let them know that we may have to have another short meeting in the next few weeks to kind of get things caught up. But I just want everyone to be aware of that, because I'm sure everyone's approved a lot of them, but there's still more out there, and I know everyone on the staff has been working really hard to get those taken care of. But just wanted to throw that out there. But anyway, so on the waived interviews, do we have a motion to pass those as presented?
I'll move, we pass
So
the waived interviews.
Second, Jerry.
Motion and a second. Carolyn?
Okay. Andy Allen,
Yes.
Mark Brudd,
Yes.
Jerry Hayes,
Yes.
Benny Jones,
Yes.
Jennifer Ransom,
Yes.
Reese Smith,
Yes.
Keith Whittington,
Yes.
and Randy Chase.
Yes. Okay.
Randy, may I ask, when will we be caught up?
Carolyn, you want to respond to that?
Yes, they have finally got it fixed, but so we're just still we just wanted to have a meeting in a couple of weeks if to get all those in that probably we're certain that some got missed and didn't get reviewed in time, and but the software problem has been fixed, but it's just caused delays because we're meeting 2 weeks earlier than we usually do because of the Thanksgiving holiday. So this will just ensure that any that we missed, we get these approved. But yes, it's been fixed.
So maybe like the second week of December or something like that, we might have another 30-minute phone call to kind of get everyone's caught up.
Right. I was thinking maybe give the girls a little time because next week we'll only be in the office a couple of days for the holiday, and then they'll be working on getting these issues. So I was thinking maybe December 8th, which is a Tuesday.
Okay. Well, just let us know as soon as you can get that on everybody's calendar. Probably the best shot you'll have is getting everybody on the call. But I think everybody's happy to do that since we can do it remotely now.
Yes, and I'll make sure it gets posted through legal and that it's it goes through the sunshine law and posted in plenty of time. And it will be just a short meeting just to approve applications and any revisions that didn't make it to this meeting.
All righty. Okay, now we'll move on to the applications with factors, which is basically kind of takes the place of our interviews. And we've got a couple of pages of folks there. And I'll just kind of start at the beginning. Carolyn, the first one has your name beside it. It's Bill's Construction Company.
Yes, he has applied for a name change, and this is in line with a complaint that we received where he was contracting in a name other than licensed, and it was suggested that he apply for a name change. So, and then also he's number 12 on the legal report, and he has paid for repairs to be made. That's an update that Jesse recently received. But when we get to the legal report, we can discuss it more. But I think this one's good to go ahead and approve if the board has no problem with it.
Okay. So what are we approving? Just a name change?
Just a name change
Okay.
upon closure of the complaint.
All right. Okay. Well, that's one. We'll just kind of go through all of these and hopefully can approve them at the end. Jerry, the next three are yours. If you can kind of fill us in on those three, starting with J&K Project Management.
They bid above their limit, and it was an oversight by their estimators, but they did bid above their limit, and I recommend a $1,000 fine. On the next one, the Avenue Grading, they bid before they got the license. They had another license, but he said he had bad advice from a lawyer, but he bid without a license, bid under the Avenue Grading without that license. I recommend a $2,500 fine. And the other one was Integrity Service. He said he did not realize he had to change his license when he converted to an LLC. So I just recommended a $500 fine with him.
Okay. Any questions on Jerry's? All right. The next few are Keith's. Keith, you want to get us started there with John T. Hall Construction?
Okay. I don't have John T. Hall listed first. I've got license number 64390. They listed as a construction manager on several projects, at least two of which were well over $25,000 limit. I think that they were a BCA. No, they're a CE seeking to add a BCA to their license. And I have recommended a $1,500 fine and then approve their license for a $125,000 limit, and that's based upon their experience. 71952 is seeking an increase to $1 million. The applicant listed several projects over his limit of $250,000. I'm suggesting a civil penalty of $2,500 for those projects listed over his limit, and then approve the increase. License number 72669 is a CMCA license that was asking for a hardship to add a BCB to his license. Well, there is no hardship and there is no test score. So I have frankly denied the request for a BCB under a hardship and suggest that they take a test and then represent their application. License number 74666 is seeking an increase. They just received their license in July, so I'm denying that based on past board history of really requiring at least 1 year underneath their current monetary limit before we increase them. 74837. This is another case of an increased request. They just received their license in May, so I've denied that request. 75251 is another increase request that just got their license in September, and I've denied that request as well. License number 49759 is a BCAR that is requesting an increase in his limit to 500,000. Now, remember, that is a BCAR. During their currently, their limit is 70,000. Their application listed several projects over 70,000 and were out of the BCA little R class. So I am proposing a $3,000 fine for over limit and out of class. And then if they settle this civil penalty, we could increase their license to 125,000. The final one is, I think, Randy, the one you were referring to, the John Hall, that is 64333. They were seeking to add a class of HC and an HRA. They have an open complaint with the wife of the brother of the family that on some equipment theft. And I think that before we make any kind of decision on this case of add their class, they need to get this complaint settled first. That's all I've got.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Keith. Mark, looks like you've got a couple.
Yeah, the first one is 75469 Bulk Hawk Building Company. I am recommending that we approve them for a BCA $600,000 limit. But they have performed, I guess they currently have a home improvement license. They have performed work over 3,000 in Knox County. Without a home improvement license. So that was the violations that I saw. There were multiple violations of work over 3,000 in Knox County. So I'm suggesting we fine them $5,000 for working without a license. The other one I have is 75548 Warren Home Builders. All of their experience listed projects over 25,000 or over 3,000 without a home improvement license. So I'm recommending a BCA for them at $1 million, subject to a $5,000 fine.
Okay.
That's all I got.
There was one more that Kathy added, looks like this morning, GT Construction, 75519. Was that yours?
I think it was. Kathy, can you refresh my memory about them?
Yeah, they had you had requested a guarantee agreement, and they had done some work in excess of $25,000 without a license, and also some home improvement in Knox County over 3,000, and you were recommended a $5,000 fine.
Okay. So yeah, that'd be similar to one that I read just before this.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any questions about Mark's? All right. I had a couple kind of along the same line. I had 75608 Creative Stone Landscaping. they came in to increase their limit, and they admitted that they had performed a couple of projects that were above their. It's a landscaping company. They had admitted they performed a couple of jobs over their limit. So I recommended $1,000 fine for them. Same with BMY Services. They were coming in to get their license set up. And did admit that they had performed a couple of projects. I think they were trying to do the right thing. They kind of were a little confused about the whole process. But anyway, we got them set up, I think, correctly, but issued a $1,000 fine as well. So those were the two that I had. Are there any others, Carolyn or Kathy, that you guys know of, or anyone?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yes, I think that's it too.
The one that we talked about this morning, Carolyn, was Sneed. Do I need to? I'll mention them briefly. We had a Sneed Construction that had a little bit of a mix up with their admin folks, and they thought they had a license squared away, and it had not been approved yet. They bid some work unknowingly, and then realized that they pulled that bid, acknowledged that they had bid some work, and said they wouldn't bid any more work, and so we're moving them to the waived pile because they kind of got it all squared away before anything really happened. Is that the correct way to put it, Carolyn? Pretty much.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So do we have a motion to accept those applications with factors, or do we have any questions? If not, then please make a motion if you can.
I make a motion, we approve the license applications with factors.
This is Benny. I second the motion.
All right. Motion in a second. Carolyn, you want to do a roll call?
Yes. Andy Allen,
Yes.
Mark Brudd,
Yes.
Jerry Hayes,
Yes.
Benny Jones,
Yes.
Jennifer Ransom,
Yes.
Reese Smith,
Reese?
Reese Smith. Reese, you're on mute in case you can hear.
Wake up, Reese.
He may be having technical issues, so we'll still have a quorum without him. Keith Whittington
Yes.
and Randy Chase.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. What about the LLEs? We want Andy to talk about those. Or who approved those, Kathy?
Yeah, it was me. And
Okay.
yeah, so that's let me make sure I got the right ones here. Yeah, so the first one was a felony and everything looked to be in order, so approved those. The next two, somehow they had gotten information they didn't need to take a test because of their past experience. They said the inspector told them. I called both of the inspectors and they denied that, so they need to take their test. So that was the only three I had.
Okay. I noticed I skipped the revisions. I'll go back to revisions in a minute. So do we have a motion to approve the LLEs as presented?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion.
Second, whatever.
Okay, we have a motion in a second. Carolyn, on the LLEs.
Okay. Andy Allen,
Yes.
Mark Brudd,
Yes.
Jerry Hayes,
Yes.
Benny Jones,
Yes.
Jennifer Ransom,
Yes.
Reese Smith,
Yes.
Keith Whittington,
Yes.
and Randy Chase.
Yes. Okay. I'll go ahead and do the LLPs and the home improvements, and we'll go back to the revisions. But I had three limited license plumbers that had let their license expire, but they were continuing to do plumbing work. So I agreed to waive their exam and reinstate their LLP. So there were three of them: license number 03, 3886, and 2655. So if I can get a motion to approve those as presented.
I make a motion to approve.
Smart, second.
Got a motion in a second. Carolyn?
Andy Allen,
Yes.
Mark Brudd,
Yes.
Jerry Hayes,
Yes.
Benny Jones,
Yes.
Jennifer Ransom,
Yes.
Reese Smith,
Yes.
Randy Chase,
Yes.
and Keith Whittington. Sorry, Keith, I skipped you.
I'm used to it. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we had the home improvement licenses presented as well. There was a list that was sent to all the board members. Did anyone have any questions about those, or do we need to review those in any other way, or just go ahead and approve them?
Just go ahead and approve them. I don't think any of them had any issues.
Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion? Can we get a second?
Second, Reese.
All right, motion in a second. Carolyn?
Andy Allen,
Yes.
Mark Brudd,
Yes.
Jerry Hayes,
Yes.
Benny Jones,
Yes.
Jennifer Ransom,
Yes.
Reese Smith,
Yes.
Keith Whittington,
Yes.
and Randy Chase.
Yes. Okay, going back to the revisions, contractor revisions, those were presented as well. Don't think there were any discussion points there. Can I get a motion to approve the contractor revisions as presented?
I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Mark, I'll second.
All right, we got a motion in a second. Carolyn?
Andy Allen,
Yes.
Mark Brudd,
Yes.
Jerry Hayes,
Yes.
Benny Jones,
Yes.
Jennifer Ransom,
Yes.
Reese Smith,
Yes.
Keith Whittington,
Yes.
and Randy Chase.
Yes. Okay, that gets all the license reviews and approvals squared away. I guess now we can move on to the legal report with Jesse and Kristen. Jesse, do you want to get us started?
I will. First one that we had, case number 24 in the legal report, complaint number 20200081511. The recommendation was a letter of warning. Keith, did you want to discuss this one further, or did you want to stick with the letter of warning?
No, I think the letter of warning is just fine.
Okay. The next one that we would have is number 25, which is complaint number 20200063371. The recommendation was to close, and then the decision was to refer that case to the local district attorney. Those were the only ones that we had received changes on. Were there any other cases on the legal report? Which one?
Yes, this is Reese. I'd like to look at number 9, which is on page 6 and 7. My question is, what happened to the $13,000 earnest money, and then the contractor did not do the job or down payment?
See, that is Kristen's case, so I'll let her answer that.
Okay, give me 1 minute to just look at the complaint summary.
Caroline, this is one of the ones, Jennifer, this is Jennifer. This was one of the ones I had a question about as well.
Yes, and I looked at that one, and I did look at the contract. I didn't see anything in the contract that kept them they didn't have a no refund clause. It looked like they signed the contract in January, and in July they sent the contractor a letter demanding a refund. They also, and the respondent pretty much threatened them and said that he would take them to court, that he was not going to give them their money back because he terminated the contract. They also accused him in the legal report that he had criminal action. So I definitely think we need to investigate it more to look at.
The recommendation was to close, and I cannot agree with that. Have we actually had an investigator? Is there an investigative report?
Let me pull up the file. And the only reason I recommended closure is because it seems like from the description and the allegations that this would be primarily a contractual issue. So it really doesn't fall squarely within the jurisdiction of the board to make a decision in terms of who is owed a refund or whether the money gets returned or not based on the contractual clauses. So I made that recommendation to close it, and they can better settle that matter in a court of competent jurisdiction. So I did not request an investigation on this one, but and honestly, I don't think that it's within the board's jurisdiction to require a refund or see to it that this person receives a refund if they're disputing the contract. However, I am open to questions and to listening to what you all have to say.
I hear you, but I do think we have some type of jurisdiction if one of our licensees accepts $13,000 and then doesn't do any work.
Yeah, it does fall into felony theft law. So, and it did say the homeowner was looking into taking criminal action, and this contractor does have a history of 10 complaints. I just think we need to investigate the criminal history, his criminal history, and maybe also his license history in another state as well.
My suggestion, okay, so I would not advise that we make any type of or we take any type of action based on criminal actions that oh, hold on, I'm getting a message that there is an investigative report. It's not in the file though. But we don't have the jurisdiction to make any decisions as to whether this action is criminal or not. So if the question is whether to move forward in terms of the criminal issue, then the district attorney referral might be best for this one. I don't think that it's the board's place to decide whether something is criminal or not. But let me see if I can get this investigative report forwarded to me because it's not in the file, unfortunately.
I agree with you that it's not our place for a criminal investigation, but I disagree that we couldn't at least get an investigator to take a look at it, because from your report, once again, you got 13,000 and never went back.
Okay, so the only thing that I think would be proper in this situation is to do the district attorney referral if this is a criminal theft that you all have concerns about. And if it's determined that the DA finds some merit to this matter and he is convicted, then we can flag this matter. And if we need to move forward, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
We've done that numerous times. It never gets to the top of the stack for the district attorney. Well, here's what I want to do, and let's see what the board agrees or disagrees. But I'd like on this case that we do refer it to our investigators and let them make a complete report and get back to us at our next meeting. That's my motion on this particular item number 9.
I second that motion.
Okay. Is everyone in agreement on that one? I think there's probably no reason to do a roll call, is there? Should we just proceed on in that way, Carolyn, and then approve it at the end of the legal report?
Yes, you can go ahead and do one vote to approve it as recommended.
Okay.
I've got two more that are much more simple. One is item number 15 on page 10. I would recommend a $1,000 fine instead of $750. He's got numerous, it's an AR to start with, and he's got numerous closed complaints. And then item number 16, he did offer to engage, although he didn't engage. And I would say a $2,000 fine. And I think he is about guilty of all of the above in that particular case. So 15 and 16 stand for themselves, and you heard what I said on 9. Move for approval for all three.
Can we pause very quickly? There is an investigative report on number 9. So I am currently trying to get it to show up for me. It's showing up for my paralegal, but it is not showing up in my case file, unfortunately. So I don't know that you want to make that motion just yet if we have that investigative report in the file.
I should have had it.
I don't see it, so I'm confused. It's number 9, correct? I'm not seeing an investigative report, but I'm being told that there is one.
Why don't you do your homework on that and send it to me? We won't tie up the entire board at this time.
Okay.
So you said $1,000 on 15 and 2,000 on 16. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure we had that noted.
Yes, sir. And that completes my report.
Great. Thank you. Were there cases that anyone else had questions on? And I guess we'll just put that on the report for the next meeting. It's looking like.
Go ahead and send Keith and Ronnie and I that investigative report if it ever turns up. Otherwise,
it was an error. We don't have the investigative report. She was thinking that we were talking about a different number on the legal report. So we'll just go ahead and get an investigation done.
A lot of confusion. I know you're new.
Sorry about that.
So my motion stands. Next.
Okay.
Are there any other questions on the legal report? Any other cases to review?
Any other residential discussions? There wasn't a whole lot to the commercial group.
This is Mark. I was good with the commercial, but the one right before the commercial is a home improvement represent. I didn't agree with a letter of warning.
Which number is that? Can you?
It is number 42.
I think the reason we represented this one, and this is where it's a strange issue. So I have been speaking with this attorney just to give some clarity. It's three properties, or it's 3 buildings. Each one has a separate address, and it does look like they attempted to put these roofing projects as 3 separate projects. They weren't trying necessarily to break the project up into 3 projects, but normally when we see this issue, it's, they're saying, let's do roofing as one contract, flooring as one contract, framing as one contract, when it's all one renovation. This does look a little more distinct as 3 separate projects, since it was 3 different buildings, 3 different addresses, 3 different invoices. So I do think that there was potentially an argument that these actually are separate contracts. And that's something, if we had a hearing, the board could hear more evidence on and make more of a decision. But that was my recommendation would be a letter of warning since they are 3 separate addresses.
Jesse, this particular contractor has a home improvement license, and these are commercial buildings, I believe. So I think he's
That's
working
correct.
out of his class anyway.
Each invoice was under 25, so he wouldn't have needed a commercial license for those 3 separate ones. But if the board felt like it was one project over 25, then at that point, that's where it's the unlicensed contracting, because it's commercial over 25, and he only has a license to be able to do the home improvement. It is in a home improvement county, but you're correct. He wouldn't be able to use that home improvement for this project if we felt like these 3 roof projects were all one project.
Were they all on the same piece of property? I was reading that when I went through that, thinking they were 3 separate locations.
They're all about right next to each other. It used to be 3 homes, and they've sold them to this daycare facility. And this daycare facility is basically piecemealed these 3 homes together for one daycare. So it's all owned by the same owner, but they're all right next to each other, adjacent to each other. But they still all have those 3 separate addresses because they were different buildings in different previously separate homes.
I wonder if all 3 contracts were negotiated at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Partially because it did come from damage, the tornado, but it was the insurance. Yeah, it was the tornado. It was the insurance company was working with them, and they did submit 3 separate invoices for them, but it was about the same time that each 3 of these were being negotiated.
I'm going to have to review my decision to go with that letter of warning and say that we stick with the $750 penalty.
Okay. Any more questions about that one? Mark, any other ones that you wanted to comment on, or anyone else have any comments on the legal report?
I don't have any comments.
Then do we have a motion to approve the legal report as presented and amended during these discussions?
This is Keith. Randy, I make a motion that we approve the legal report as amended.
This is Mark. I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Carolyn?
Okay. Andy Allen,
Agreed.
Mark Brudd,
Yes.
Jerry Hayes,
Yes.
Rennie Jones,
Yes.
Jennifer Ransom,
Yes.
Reese Smith,
Yes.
Keith Whittington,
Yes.
and Randy Chase.
Yes. Okay. Moving on to Carolyn's discussions here. Carolyn?
Yes. I gave you all, I think I emailed everyone the update on our financials, our budget, and it came to where we did have a balance of $177,270. So we were able to give Go Build a check for $88,635 for half of that. And I did make you all aware, we finally got the rules back for the continuing education from the Attorney General's office, so we can move forward with our rulemaking hearing on the January 26th board meeting, our first meeting of the 2021. And then also for update on the formal hearings, we did have 3 last month. And you'll be glad to know that the judges did really well about sticking with the higher penalty. They did pretty much assess the maximum penalty on the violations. We do have two formal hearings tomorrow, and I know all of you can't make it, but I believe we have five. We have a quorum, and so we do have two licensed cases for tomorrow. And then we have another unlicensed case on the 19th. And then Jesse will give you an update for the formal hearing that was scheduled for 1 o'clock today. So Jesse, if you want to go ahead.
We had a formal hearing scheduled for this afternoon after that summary suspension conference. The respondent has signed an agreement to agree to surrender his license. So at that point, we don't need to have a revocation hearing since he has agreed to turn in that home improvement contractor license. Surrender that, I believe, just as a good faith to not have the formal hearing. I think it's a good way to put it. Are there any other questions on that? We've let the judge and the court reporter know.
Okay.
Hey, Randy, this is Mark. I had a question for Carolyn on Go Build. When do we make that payment to them?
I'm sorry, did you have a question about the rules?
About Go Build, you had said we were getting ready to pay them $88,000, which is half of the surplus, I believe.
Yes,
when we've already payment made.
We've already mailed them the check. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I can barely hear you. Is that what you wanted to know? If we paid them already?
Yes.
Yes, we have. It just I think fiscal sent them the check probably a couple of weeks ago after we got our updated fiscal balance. So our law requires us to give them half of our balance, and that was the 50% of it amount that we gave them. And that's a little bit more than what we gave them last year. Last year it was only $77,000.
Have you gotten any reports from them in the last 6 months?
No, mainly because of COVID, they can't really go out to the schools and do any kind of marketing because the schools can't let them in. But I do know they're still doing their social media ads, like through Twitter and Facebook, things like that. But I can have them provide an update at the next meeting.
Yeah, I think it would be good to know what they're spending the money on.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll ask. I'm sure they'll be happy to. I didn't ask them mainly because of COVID. I figured there wasn't much to update, but I can get them on the agenda for the January meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, and I got one more thing. I emailed everyone a list of the 2021 dates and reserved it's all pretty much the last Tuesday of the month. And then we also gave those dates to administrative law judges to have formal hearings anytime on the afternoon of our board meeting and also the day after our board meeting. So if those dates, if anyone has any problems with those, please let me know. We can get them changed. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and get them published on the website.
Okay. Anyone have any trouble with the dates for now? For next year? Okay.
Oh, I did have one correction. Sorry. On the September date, I listed September 28th and 30th. It should be September 28th for the board meeting and the 30th for the formal hearing. So that's one correction I need to make. But other than that, they should be correct.
Okay. Hey, one note that's there's someone, Andy, if you're still there, there's a note that's been submitted under the chat thing down there. Good morning, Carolyn. I was wondering if you had the approved license number for the LLE electricians. It was never mentioned. Thank you. From Adam Amonette. I don't know which one that is, Andy.
I mean, I only had the 3.
Okay. Was Adam Amonette on one of them?
This
Yeah.
may, I'm sorry, I don't know if Eminent was on there or not. If not, it may be, I had 2 inspectors out of, I think Bristol, LLE, they're electrical inspectors, and they have passed tests and certified with the fire marshal's office. So I do have 2 of their applications, but I just haven't provided them to Andy yet to look at. But I'll get those to Andy, and then if he approves those, we can issue them. If not, if they get denied, we can put that on the meeting in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I'll send those to you.
Okay. Carolyn, do you have anything else?
I believe that's it. I think that's everything.
So no hearing this afternoon, but there are hearings tomorrow starting at 9. And Keith, are you going to be able to be there to run the meeting? I'm not going to be able to be there.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I did confirm with Carolyn that I'll be able to. Are they starting at 9 or at 1?
They're starting at 9 tomorrow.
So that'll be 10 o'clock my time, correct?
Or is that 8 o'clock your time?
It'd be 10 o'clock my time.
Yeah.
At 10 your time. Yeah. Okay. Anybody got anything else? Any other new business or discussions or questions? All right. Well, we'll adjourn the meeting. Do we need to have a roll call on adjournment of the meeting, Carolyn?
Yeah, we sure do. Andy Allen.
Yes.
Mark Brudd.
I think he said yes, but he's on mute.
Okay. Yeah. Jerry Hayes.
Yes.
Here.
Benny Jones.
Yes.
Jennifer Ransom.
Yes.
Reese Smith.
Yes.
Keith Whittington.
Yes.
And Randy Chase.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all your time and your hard work on these files.
Yeah, same to you guys. Thanks for everything y'all are doing. The staff, I know you guys are stressed a little bit, but anything we can do as board members to help, let us know.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Merry Christmas.
All right.
Yeah,
Happy
it is.
Thanksgiving. Stay safe
Thank you.
and healthy.
Y'all
See you.
too. Bye-bye.